Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing better. And if you're not, then maybe, hopefully, with any luck or encouragement, I can help with that. I would like to. By just being something you can listen to in the background. Maybe fall asleep too, if that's something you would like to do. I would like to just ramble for you to listen, and I think we can both get something out of that. I mean, I enjoy making these. I enjoy playing just some little game and rambling. And I hope that if you're sticking around, that you enjoy listening to me ramble and just speak my mind while I play silly little games. I mean, there's no reason not to try to enjoy this. I mean, if you're having fun and I'm having fun, there's no reason to stop. But, if I wasn't having fun, there'd be no reason for me to start doing this. It's the oxymoron of it all is that a lot of people put themselves out there to hopefully be famous one day, and I guess in a way I'm doing that too. It would be nice to know that I have an audience of folk that I'm able to help. But at the same time, I'm entirely okay if I never find that because I enjoy making these. And I think that's something a lot more folk need to figure out is that they need to enjoy doing something for the sake of doing it, as opposed to doing something just because there's a potential it might give them money someday or something like that. See, I don't see much a point in doing something if it's just for a corporate goal. I'm enjoying this, I'm having fun, I'm getting to just speak my mind. I'm a very rambly person. I like to just ramble a lot. It's not really a thing I get to do very often, especially because I do tend to be a little more quiet in my day-to-day life. I'm a little shy in reality. It's just one of those things. But it's not like I'm uh, debilitated by it at all. I may be socially awkward, but that's not a major part of my being me. And a lot of that is just the fact that I'm semi-shy person, which is weird for a theater kid. I know some don't know that. Most folk don't know that I do theater. I like to be on stage and stuff. I do like to act. But, I, uh, I don't get the chances I enjoy to do the things I enjoy as often as I would like to. Because I enjoy a lot of things, but I'm also a very busy guy. And I'm glad to find the time for this, even if it is cutting into the time I should be sleeping, you know. I guide folk to a treasure I can never possess. But that's life. So you just sometimes you guide yourself to a place where you just kind of need to talk about things, and you don't really have a topic in mind. You just want to talk, and I'm just kind of letting my mind run. And that's how this is going to be, because I don't think I'll ever have anything planned out, like a script. I mean, unless people want me to do script versions of this, then in which case I'm more than happy to help with that, send it over and all that. But at the same time, I have no reason to try and impress anyone other than myself. I think that's something more people need to do, is just try and be there for themselves, because a lot of people seem to forget themselves when they're pursuing their passions. They get themselves hurt, they get themselves burnt out, they get themselves sad. I'm not as good as this person. I'm not as awesome as this guy. This guy is so much better than me at singing, dancing, or acting, or drawing. And it's true, they might be. It might not be. You might just be blinded by your own, no, not hubris, but your humility. You might be so unwilling to admit that you might be good that you can only compare yourself to the greats or to those who will someday be the greats. And that's something you need to not do if you're ever going to be happy with yourself. If you're ever going to be happy with the progress you're making. I don't know. I don't mean to be a preacher. It's my thing. Although, the more this series goes on, people might beg to differ. I just, I don't know. I struggle with it personally a lot. The idea of, well, if I'm not great, why should I even try to be good? But then you can't just jump up from being not knowing what you're doing at all to being someone who's amazing. There's no point in comparing yourself to those who are truly amazing when you're just getting started. There's no incentive to get better if everyone else you're comparing yourself to is already established and great and amazing and unstoppable. When you first start learning a martial art, you don't immediately fight the sensei. You start learning the basics. You learn how to place your feet. You learn how to hold your hand in a fist. You don't straight up just get put in a match. I mean, maybe you do if you're going to the wrong type of person and they're a total sadist, or if they just want to see what you know. But even then, they're not expecting you to know everything or do everything. So why should you expect that of yourself when you're just learning? And I think a lot more people need to hear that they're doing great. So I guess I'll try to say that for you. And if it means anything, then I'm happy to do so. But if not, then I hope it isn't too odd for me to say it. But whatever passion you're chasing, art you're crafting, uh, really anything you're putting a lot of your soul and heart and joy into, I hope you know that you're going to do great with that. You're going to improve in it. And that while you may not see it instantly, it does take time. It's important not to lose sight of how far you've already gotten. Because you got to remember you started somewhere with no knowledge, and here you are. You know something. You learned something you didn't know before. And that in of itself is proof of the concept. It's proof that you can learn. It is proof that you can do good and keep improving and you can get better and better and better. And I think a lot more people need to recognize that in themselves, that you can just keep getting better and better and better, even if you don't see it, because it's a very small and gradual thing. But that's okay. Change is small and gradual. When I started working out, the only thing I felt was the soreness. I only ever felt pain. I never felt the results. And since they were so slow and they came over such a long period of time, it took months for me to realize, oh wow, I've gotten stronger. Oh wow, I've gotten bigger. My muscles are defined. And that's just because well, when I'm looking at it, it's from my own perspective, and I'm comparing myself to all these great bodybuilders. I'm comparing myself to these Instagram models, and that's not the way to do it. Because there's a few things. One, it's their job to look that good. They get paid to do that, so they have to do that. And they have the time to because they're getting paid to. That's their job, that's their income. But another thing is just that comparison is the thief of joy. If you're always comparing yourself to someone, you'll never have enough time to just stop, look in the mirror, and say, I did good. I did a good thing today. I had a good time today. I made good progress. And even if you didn't, even if you don't think you did, because you most likely did, whether you're willing to recognize it or not, it is just as important to say, I tried to make progress today. And even if you don't believe you did, I'm very sure that you did. I mean, the reason I do a lot of things is just because I would like to do them. I used to draw a lot, not because I wanted to be an artist or make money off of it, but just because I liked to draw. I had ideas in my head and I wanted to kind of put them out there, put them in paper. It never went anywhere, but that's fine because I still have those memories. I remember how it would make me feel when I finished a piece and I'd look at it and I'd go, hey, I really like that part. And I think you should do that. It's time you finish a poem or take a photo, finish a drawing, finish a workout even, or anything of the sort. Anything that you put effort and time and kindness into, I think you should recognize as something worth admiring, even for just a moment, because you put a little bit of you in that, and that's something no one else can do because no one else is you, and that's a good thing. Being unique is your advantage. No one snowflake looks alike and all that. I mean, you'll meet people that are very similar to you. It's an inevitability when you're around long enough. You meet new people all the time. You're going to meet someone who reminds you of yourself, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is something you gotta take in stride. Because at the end of the day, who you are is who you are, and who you are is someone who is worthy of love, worthy of care, be it from others and yourself, and who needs to just kind of look out for the effort you're making, look out for the advice you take, look out for the advice you give, because a lot of it is better than you think. A lot of it comes with a lot more heart, feeling, and soul than you realize. When you're nice to yourself, the world is nicer to you. And that's something I wish more folk would realize. It's not always about being number one, but sometimes it's just about getting out on the field in the first place and realizing, wow, I can actually do this. I can run. I can walk. I can have fun. I can have a good day. And when you realize you can have a good day, the bad ones start to seem less painful and the good ones more frequent. And I think that's something that people need to really take to heart. Is that a good day doesn't mean that everything went right. A good day just means that you're happy by the end of it. And that's okay. Overall, I think it is an amazing thing to be able to wake up and say, I enjoy art. I think I'm going to draw a photo. Or I enjoy this nice little game. I'm going to play it for a little bit. Of course, do everything to a healthy amount. Don't kill yourself over anything, but at the same time, it's just as important to realize. I think it'd be pretty cool if I just bought a microphone and started auditioning for roles, made my own little YouTube, made my own little podcast. But when you do these things, you have to think to yourself, am I doing this for me? Or am I doing this because I'm hoping that someday, sometime, someone else will recognize me? Because if you don't do it for you, and you only ever attract you, then what's the point of doing it? Even if I, every day for the rest of my life, never broke 100 viewers ever again, I don't think I'd stop making these because I think they're good for me. They get my own thoughts out, thoughts I don't realize I was having, monologues in my head. They get my voice acted. They give me a reason to play games that I like that aren't stressful because I have to not be talking about the game. I think it's healthy to ramble in a way because that way I'm just able to be me in the best way I know how to be, which is just kind of a multitasking thing. Because I like doing a lot of things. I like to lift. I like to voice act. I like to just act and sing and dance. It's just a lot of things because you're a complicated person. I'm a complicated person. We're all people with depth, whether we want to realize that or not. It's up to us. But when it comes down to it, that's the fact. Is that you have more to you than you are willing to realize. And I think that's a very amazing thing, but it's a thing that can go neglected if you choose to just not cater your own love for creating or for whatever it is you want to do. I started doing these on a whim. I was just playing a game one night and I just decided, I think it'd be kind of nice if I could put my voice to use in a way that could potentially just be good for me, potentially be good for you, and you know, symbiotic relationship. And we are Venom. I do have usually just one person in mind, and I do hope that he gets to watch this and enjoy this and take a lot of those messages to heart because he's a great guy, and I think he's a little hard on himself sometimes. But I also think that it's a message a lot of people, a lot more people than I realize need to hear is that you can be nice to yourself and it's not an egotistical thing to do. And even if someone tells you it is, so what? Be an egotist then. Ramble, just go crazy about it. I think it's something that everyone should do once or twice in their life is just say, I want to do this thing, and then go for it. Your dreams are never as far as you think. You can buy the start of it. Just go for it. If you want to be a bodybuilder, start doing those push-ups in your room. Maybe today you can only do two. That's fine. At the end of the month, you'll be able to do 15. Who knows? If you want to be a voice actor, just start buy a shitty microphone from Walmart. Pour it in your parents' closet. If you want to be an actor, just audition for a show. The hardest part is just getting there. Once you're there, you're in. You're in it for it. And even if you don't get casted, so what? You went for your dream. You went after it, and that's something that not everyone say they did. Not everyone can say that, hey, I went out and I tried. A lot of people give up. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for them. Sometimes that's just life. But who knows? Maybe when you try, it'll work out for you. And even if it didn't, you gotta say, wow, I gave it my best. I gave it an honest to God try. No one can tell me that I didn't try. And I think that's the best thing anyone can say to themselves is I gave it a try. And no one can say I didn't because I know I did. I am realizing now there's a flaw, and that's that I always have to be talking. I always have to have something going on in my mind. I'm a pinch of a airhead, some would say. I've been described as, for lack of a better term, and for the sake of quoting directly, I've been called a himbo before. And I don't entirely disagree with that, but at the same time, I think it's just whatever. I don't always have something going on in my head, but even when I do, not everyone needs to know that. That's life. Life is tricky. Life is lovely. Life is, well, awesome sauce, I think. That's what life is. Life is awesome sauce. You make friends, you make lovers, you make family. You get to learn about family. You get to experience everything loss, love. I sound like the guy on shrooms who's just like learning about empathy and figuring out very simple things. But in reality, it's these like truths we hold to be self evident and all that. Things that seem like common sense that when you really think about it, you give it thought, you go, oh my God, I only have one shot at this. This is my one and only. Is this how I want to spend it? Just thinking to myself, wow, I could have, but I never did. I don't know. I think I want to call this series Egotist Talks, mostly because It's just me rambling, 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 rambling. And you got to really love the sound of your own voice to do that for however long these are going to be. At the same time, I like to think that as much as it is for me, it's for whoever decides to tune in. People are just as complicated as they want to be, but life is a lot different because life doesn't really care how complicated you want it to be. It'll just do its thing. It'll make its life your life, and it'll take you along for the journey. And if you're having fun with that journey, then yay. But if not, then what else can you do? What can you do to make the ride fun? Because there's a lot of things people need to realize about themselves to make life fun, is that life doesn't have to be exactly what you imagined it to be. It can be something truly remarkable or it can be something truly bland, but if that's what you want, then who's to tell you that it's wrong? It's just one of those things where why shouldn't you try? Why shouldn't you go for it? Why shouldn't you put yourself out there? So what? It's scary. Life is scary. But you can't fear life or you're not going to end up living. I really do sound like a hippie. But I think that's just kind of a consequence of the way I am, my prerogative, the way I've been built over the years of my life. You know, get made into a person because life tries to mold you, but you get to decide how those actions define you, or if they even do. Because for all you know, this might not even be a defining thing for you. This might just be a thing that happens. Life throws giant rocks at you. You can just decide to hide in the house, between the walls, or let it sort itself out. Life isn't meant to be anything because a lot of life is purely chance. It was a chance you were born in the country you were born in. It was a chance you were born to the parents you were born to. Everything's a chance. So who's to say it isn't meant to be treated like that? That doesn't mean to take it all. I'm just rambling. Well, that's what this is. Nothing I say really makes sense, and that's okay. If I want to make absolutely no sense by the end of this, that's my choice, and that's a choice I'm making, I guess. But that doesn't mean I'm crazy or speak nonsense. It just means I'm not speaking any sense right now. I'm not made of nonsense because I'm spewing it. I really am spewing nonsense. Goodness, I'm really spewing nonsense, but that's my prerogative right now. I make these, I guess. It's just a ramble. It's purely nonsensical, sleep deprived. I have school in the morning and I'm not going to make it ramble. But that's life. It's what people say, and that's okay, because that's life. Who's to say that's so bad? Not me. I think it can be pretty cool. It's nice when people look out for each other and stuff. I love watching those videos of kindness and acts that make me cry. I don't like crying very often. It can be cathartic every once in a while, but sometimes it just feels like I am hurting myself by forcing myself to watch the thing that's going to make me cry a bunch. But sometimes that's just how it is. You watch a video, it makes you cry. You watch a video, it makes you cry. That doesn't mean you like to cry. It just means that you're needing to cry. You don't always like what you need. Like when you take a medicine, you don't like the taste of it, but you need to swallow the damn pill, or you're just gonna be sick for the rest of your life, or at least a lot longer than you'd like to be. There's not much point to being sick if you have nothing to avoid. And even if you do have something to avoid, will it go away just because you're sick? A lot of life is constantly moving. It's a well-oiled machine, and you're gonna get caught in the gears. Now, are you gonna just kind of let it crush you, or are you just gonna try? A lot of it just comes down to try. And I know I'm sounding a little pretentious, and that's, I guess, how I am when I get tired and rambly, but, you know, I'm sure one of these will make sense someday. If I make enough of them, if you put enough monkeys in front of a typewriter, they'll write Hamlet. And if you put a sleep deprived weirdo in front of a microphone, maybe he'll finally make a good point. It just might take a while, so, stick around and find out, or don't. I can just be random background noise for if you're drawing or trying to sleep or whatever, man. I don't choose how you live your life. That's a you thing, man. You do you, and you do you well, because only you can do you. Goodness, I am really pushing what words are meant for by speaking the things I speak. But, what's the point of having a mouth if you're not gonna flap those lips endlessly for no reason, really, other than you felt the need and you had the wants and the passion? You know, it also gives me an excuse to play this game at 2:10 a.m. in the morning. I've got to wake up in 5 hours. I'll have class 2 hours after that. Then I'll probably have more laundry. See, now I'm just talking about chores. I really don't know what this is going to be. I just like to ramble, I guess. And I hope that helps. I hope that's a lovely thing for someone out there. That someone's just going to be there and be semi interested in things you do. Or entirely interested, I guess. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what you do. Comment what you do when you listen to these, and don't say jaking it. Or do. I feel like Adult Swim when I say that. But, that's life. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, but I do hope you were able to get something out of it. Even if that something was, I don't want to watch this. Good. Spend your time on Earth doing things you like. Because if you don't, you'll run out of time and you'll say you've wasted it all. And there's nothing worse than wasting something so precious as time. Yeah, no. Have a good one. Be awesome to yourself. Because if you don't, then there's no guarantee anyone else will be. Yeah. Bye.